So in this video of breaking down poses, I chose two poses from Pinterest, and these poses, I've seen this pose plenty of times. This particular guy, and he has like a lot of dynamic poses from these different angles. I don't even know who the guy is, but he has a lot of different poses on Pinterest. I think I've done some shorts with this guy also. I mean, if you know who the guy is, you can leave it down in the comments. But yeah, he always has some really good poses for me to draw from and use in these videos. So for this pose I chose, he has his hand out and he has his feet down and it's kind of in the, extreme perspective. And so I chose this one just to kind of draw some more of these and get used to throwing these down to get the pose as close to as possible to what it is, breaking it down. And so I've done it my usual way where I started out with the head and drew in the circle for the waist and the circle for the chest. And of course, I split the circle in half for the waist, showing it in, uh, breaking it apart just so we can see it separate it because I like to separate the waist from the chest area. And it's kind of a way for me to easily bend the pose or in different ways, depending on the positioning of the pose and how the person is moving. So right now, as you can see, I'm drawing in the hand. I like to make those boxes for the hands before I start to add the hand in there. And so I'll throw a box in there first. And I start to kind of work my way with the fingers going into the hand. And typically, if you see my older videos where I talk about drawing hands or the way I like to do it, I always like to do the fingertips first, and then work my way into the palm. And it always depends on the position of the hand and how the hand is positioned where I like to draw it like that. Because sometimes I'll draw from the palm first and then come out. And then depending on where the fingers are positioned, I like to draw from the tips first and then work my way into the palm. It all depends on how the hand is positioned because the hand is always the trickiest part. So, I have multiple different solutions to drawing the hand out and getting it just right for whatever pose or angle I'm trying to do. So I'm adding in the finger, drawing that the tip of the finger, adding in the little cylinder like I usually do, working my way into the palm area. I'm adding in the little thumb, rounding out the tip. I'm not trying to focus too much on detail. I'm just, drawing it quickly, trying to jot it down to get the general idea of where everything is positioned. Because then again, everything doesn't have to be exactly to how the image look. You're just throwing it down quickly. That way you can just go back into it and add in whatever character you want. That way you can draw whatever details you want to add to it, change things around, move the head in a different position or move the waist up, whatever you want to do. You're basically drawing like a base or like if you're making 3D shapes, you're creating a base mesh first and then you mold it after that when you start to erase it and add in those fine details to create that character you want to do or make. And right now I decided the head was too big, so I'm erasing the head to make it a little bit smaller. And this is what I'm talking about, where you can erase it and making adjustments. So I erase the head, make it a little bit smaller. I could just left it the way it is, but I wanted to just go ahead and show you how you can just change it up and make adjustments to it because it's still in the base stage. You can erase as much as you can because there's no details added to it. So you're not erasing your crucial hard work that you have done because you haven't even really started yet. So I'm just darkening some of the lines, adding in that circle for where the shoulder's going to be. Now I'm adding in that spray can. I'm making it kind of like in a 3D shape where I'm just adding in that little oval shape and I'm working my way down to create the rest of the can. I'm adding in the little part to it. You see, I'm drawing it almost as if you're creating like a 3D space. I'm just doing it that way just because I just wanted to draw it down quickly, not really focusing too much on the spray can. And you see that the hand is gripping the can, so I'm just drawing the tips of the fingers first, that's gripping the can, and I'm drawing the rest of the finger around it as I go. The tip of the other finger, adding in the little thumb that's gripping the bottom of the can. And the rest of the palm that's kind of hidden. Circle for the shoulder, cylinder for the arm, and the circle for the shoulder on that side is a little bit hidden or smaller because it's going backwards. Now adding in the leg. Like I said, when this one, in my reference, the leg is a little bit lower than what's in the picture. But then again, you can easily just adjust it. And the way I would adjust this is I would take the waist and just raise it up a bit. When you raise the waist up, then the leg will come with it, and you can easily make a quick adjustment with that. Or you can leave it like it is, because even right now it's still not exact, but it still works because the anatomy still isn't off. Because once you start to add in details, you can easily adjust it as you go. Darkening some of the lines, adding in some more details to it, erasing some of the areas. As always, I like to erase some of the extra lines is getting a little bit too much. I don't want it to be too crazy on the eyes, at least. Erasing some of the extra lines is going through the chest. Now I'm fixing the thumb a little bit. Making some more little adjustments, adding the rest of his forearm, cut to the hand. Adding in a piece of the finger. Adding in another cylinder, just connected to the palm. Because right now I'm just darkening things up and adding little other details to it, just to kind of make it a little more complete. Now for this one, I chose a pose of a guy holding a sword, kind of like at an angle, because I wanted to kind of draw the head of the angle. And I know I've seen that little meme with the from that anime series. Was it Frieren or Frieren? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I never really seen anime. I just seen the little meme with the head tilt looking up, which is kind of crazy. So I just drew this one with his head tilted up. And you see that when I'm doing the head tilts, I always add that little circle in the bottom to indicate, to show how far up the head is going. I'm adding the rest of the body. Circle for the chest. And in this occasion, I made a circle for the waist, kind of a circle, like a little circle with a little slight dent at the top. And adding in the little central line, which I usually add sometimes in my poses. Now I'm drawing in the shoulder and the arm. And I'm kind of just, you see, because there's a little foreshortening to it. That's why you see me doing those overlaps. If you see me in my other videos or see me draw my other videos, you see that I always mention a lot of overlapping shapes when you're doing foreshortening body parts. I like to, all my poses, or majority of my poses, I like to always add some type of foreshortening, just because I like to always practice with foreshortening in poses. Because I've seen a lot of poses that people draw, and it's like a straightforward thing with not as much foreshortening. I like to foreshorten it a lot, depending on the position of the pose, whether it's an extreme angle or whatever. I like to always try to find ways to add some kind of foreshortening into it. I think for me, that's the best way to practice drawing poses. You have to have some type of foreshortening in there. That way you can kind of learn the basic way of drawing a pose, flat out, and also add in that slight foreshortening into it. that we can get double the practice. So right, I'm adding in the fingers for the hand. You see I drew the line first of where the sword is going to be. That way I can kind of get a slight idea of where the sword is. But then again, I can always erase that line, make adjustments. That's why I always will draw the simplest thing or shape. That way I can adjust it as I go. But I was fairly happy with where the line is. So that's why I started to work in the sword at this point after I got the majority of the hand done, even though it's missing a couple of fingers, but I'm going to add that as I go. Working in that hilt, finishing that up. For the hilt, I just made a simple square. That way you kind of just see it a little bit in perspective going inward. And then the fingers, just touching the hilt of the sword. And the blade is fairly thin, so you're not gonna really see the blade too much. So I just made kind of like a real two thin lines indicate the blade coming out of the sheath. So I'm drawing the hand on the bottom that's holding the sheath of the sword. Thumb first, and start drawing in the fingers. Same method as before. Draw the tip of the finger first and kind of work my way up. It's like you're drawing almost like you're drawing a robot hand. You're making a bunch of different cylinders, drawing the hand like you're making hand armor, pretty much. And there is a hand that I do use as a reference. I think I've shown that when I did the one live that I've done before. I think I've shown the hand that I like to reference from when I'm drawing them. I think I'll probably make a short or something like that to show the little mannequin hand that I use when I'm referencing from when I'm drawing a hand. It's kind of an easy way for drawing a hand. So right now I'm just erasing some of the lines just to make it a little bit more clear. But that's it for this video. You want to see more videos like this? Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment for anything else you want to see or any other poses you want to check out and have me break down. And take care.